Hi, I'm Hugh Sullivan, videographer for the Herald and Review, and I like to make movies. And since filmmaking isn't my full-time job, I try not to dump too much money into it. Shooting weddings and doing freelance work on the side has afforded me some of the bigger toys that I use, like the big film rigs and the sliders and jibs and stuff like that. But still, whenever I'm buying stuff, I'm always looking for a deal. And so I've done some videos in the past about really affordable LED lights or building a great low-angle mount, which has also served as a good floor mount for hot lights. Rigging up a cheap holder for a viewfinder, finding inexpensive boxes to hold a fully assembled camera rig, and a sweet setup for doing dash cam footage and ride-along videos. And actually, now I use the GoPro suction cup mount, but that setup is still really good. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, go check out those videos. But right now I want to talk about some of the essential stuff that I keep in my gear bag, and a lot of it costs less than $10. So first is this little cold shoe mountable bubble level. Whenever you're shooting on something like that low-angle mount that I built, or a ball head that's on a slider or something, anything that's not a tripod that's got its own level, this is really nice. You can just throw it right on the camera, level it off, and then throw it back in the bag. It costs about $6. I got it on Amazon, and I use it really often. Next is a good lens cloth. It's always important to have one on hand. I like this one because it's got its own little case. You can just kind of stuff the cloth back up in there. It keeps it clean, it keeps it dry, and it's got a clip here that I keep right on my keyring. So no matter what I'm doing, if I'm doing freelance work or filmmaking or work for the Herald and Review, I've always got my keys on me, so I've always got a lens cloth with me. This one I got for about $10 on Amazon. Before I had this, I would actually just keep a lens cloth folded up in my wallet. And so even if you don't feel like getting something like this, if you've already got a lens cloth, I recommend keeping it in your wallet or your purse. That way, no matter where you go, you're always prepared to clean your lens. Everybody knows if you're doing filmmaking, you want a good multi-tool. So I got this one really cheap at Menards, but I don't always have this on me. I don't keep it like strapped to my belt. So unless I actually bring my big toolbox with me to a film set, I don't have this on me. So if I'm going to shoot for the Herald and Review and I need a multi-tool, I've got one on my keyring. I got this key-shaped multi-tool from thinkgeek.com, and it just opens up. It actually just sticks right on with my keys, but then you open it up, it's got a little knife built into it, screwdrivers, the flathead and the Phillips, and even a bottle opener and some other stuff, and it's really good. It's even got this tiny little screwdriver head that I can actually use to change channels on the wireless mic receiver and transmitter. So this was about $10, and it really comes in handy. Here's something I found at Hobby Lobby that saved me about $50. Sometimes if you're not shooting with a big matte box that's got these flags on it, you still need some extra shade on your lens. And so you could either buy this thing called a nasty flag clamp that clamps to your camera and then sticks this metal flag in front of it. That costs about $60. This is meant for holding knitting patterns onto, whatever you knit with, and then holds your pattern in here. But, so I don't know anything about that. What I do know is this can clip to your lens hood, and then this can hold a stiff piece of cardboard right in front of your light source and shade your lens. This cost $6, and actually I got it for like less than $4 because I used their 40% off coupon that they pretty much always have on their website. When I first started shooting movies, I didn't have a preamp to run my microphone directly into the camera, so I shot all my audio on the Zoom H4n recorder. And I would point that out, but I'm actually recording on it right now. Trouble you run into with the recorder is whoever's running sound, they need their hands free to hold a boom mic. And so I was looking for a way to clip the Zoom onto a belt. Zoom actually sold an accessory for that, and it was like $80 for this little pouch that clipped it to your belt. And so I wasn't having any of that. So I took this old camera strap and I clipped it to the back of an old tripod mount, just a little plate that I had laying around. I don't even think I have this tripod anymore. And so I clipped it there, and then you could just screw this 1/4-inch mount right onto the back of the Zoom recorder. And so it came in handy. It was a little cumbersome. It covered up the mic pack, so if we needed to change batteries out, we'd have to take this whole thing off and then get in there and do it. But it saved a lot of money. So I was using that for a long time, and then my wife bought a new set of camera straps called quick straps, and instead of attaching to the camera by these little hooks, it actually used this little lanyard thing and like a little screw onto the tripod base, so you would just kind of attach it that way. And now this comes in handy. I bought an extra one of these little screw mounts, and now I can keep that with the Zoom all the time, and now the Zoom actually has its own camera strap. And it's nice to use a strap like this with the camera if you're using it for photo and video, because whenever we had a camera strap here, it would kind of drape over the rig when I had it set up on rails. Now I can just take this off and there's no strap in the way when I'm shooting video. Another really inexpensive piece of gear that I use all the time is this little one-ear earbud headphone. And it's great for doing spot news where I need to monitor the audio and just make sure that there isn't any interference coming off the wireless mic packs. If I'm shooting a film where I really want to be nitpicky about the audio, I use these big Sennheisers, these noise canceling headphones. But if I'm just wanting to make sure that I'm not getting any weird noise and pops and hisses thrown off the microphone and interrupting our interviews, this does the job. And it's out of the way, it just sticks in one ear, and you don't have the other headphone kind of dangling around or getting wrapped up in your mic strap. It just goes straight up to your ear, and then you can throw it back in the bag. It's low profile, and it gets the job done. And because I like audio so much, here's another toy. This I got on Think Tank, and it's a belt clip that'll hold those big Sennheiser headphones, and that comes in handy if you need to hear what's going on around you, but you still need to be operating the camera or something, and you don't have anywhere to put the headphones. You don't want to set them down on the ground. You can clip them to your belt. And then 2 days after I got this, I found this monster hook at Menards, and they both cost about $10. So but it's nice to know that if you want it now, you don't have to wait to order it online. You can just go and get this tool hook from Menards. $10. Both of them are pretty handy. Next is Gaffers tape. Now, when I first started doing films and stuff, I thought I don't need that. I'll just use some black duct tape. But this is really way more versatile. It's just as strong as duct tape, but it doesn't leave the same sticky residue. I've used this to tape cords to the floor so people don't trip over them. I've taped a mic pack to a podium at a wedding so I could run wireless audio. I've used this to tape a lav mic to somebody's chest so we could hide the mic during a shoot. It's really versatile, and I was able to get a 180-foot roll of this for about $20. So a little more expensive than duct tape, but really versatile, and I highly recommend grabbing some. On the subject of tape, it's nice to have some different colors of electrical tape on hand if you want to set a mark for an actor or a start and stop point for a dolly. It's really convenient to have this around. I put it around a lanyard because I go to a lot of press conferences, so I have a lot of lanyards laying around. So I stuck them here, and now they're all in one spot, and I can use them whenever I want on the set. If you use a clapboard on set, you may be like me and lose the marker or forget where you set the cloth to wipe down the marker and waste time in between takes. I used a little dot of velcro to attach the marker straight to the back of the clapboard. Now they're all in one spot, and I got the marker that's got an eraser built onto it. That way, it's always right next to me, and I'm not looking around because I'm really bad about that. I would always lose track of my markers. Oh, and you may have noticed my awesome signatures. That's Vincent Laforet, and that's Henry Phillips. Here's something that's a little more expensive, but it was well worth the money. It's a Stanley Fat Max toolbox. I was able to take about 3 or 4 boxes worth of gear and consolidate them into this one rolling toolbox. And so now instead of carrying a ton of stuff with me everywhere I go, I can just roll this one box onto the set. It's listed on different websites at about $100. I was able to wait until it went on sale at Menards. I got it for less than $50, and it was worth every penny. And then finally, on the note of the more expensive gear, if you are doing any sort of video production work where you're planning on expanding your gear and buying more stuff as you go along, I highly recommend getting a set of 15mm rails. You could buy different mounts for your camera that don't have 15mm rails. There's a thing called a Scorpion, or there's different kind of setups that allow you to attach your accessories via hot shoe or different 1/4-inch screw mounts. But the nice thing about 15mm rails is they're industry standard. So if you ever want to get a matte box or a follow focus or a preamp, anything like that, it's nice to be able to mount that onto a 15mm rig. So when I first started shooting weddings on the DSLR, I went ahead and got the Redrock micro rig because I wanted to start with a nice brand name kit. But then when I started expanding it and getting some more accessories, I went looking on Amazon and I found some stuff that was way cheaper than the Redrock micro. This is an Opteka rig. I got this on Amazon from Opteka for about $50, and I think I actually got like an instant $10 discount, and so I got this for like $40. The Redrock Micro equivalent of this, called the Running Man, is about $500. So this was about 1/10 of the price. And there's little differences, little things that are not so great about this. Really hard to tighten these knobs here. I actually added a couple lock washers because you had to really just grind metal down to metal. I actually was using Allen wrenches to tighten and loosen these because it was kind of a pain. But really, for $450 price difference, this really came in handy. And so now I use my big Redrock micro rig when I'm shooting a big handheld setup, but then I can use this if I need to be running around or just need a slimmed down rig where I'm in a tight corner or I'm holding it over someone's head or behind an actor or something. I can kind of throw the camera onto this. So I'm going to put links to all this stuff in the description, so if you liked anything that you saw here, go check it out and you can buy it there. And if you have anything, any suggestions on stuff that I should have in my gear bag, just leave a comment, let me know, and I can check that stuff out. And until then, subscribe to this channel, go check out my personal channel where I have my films and sketches, and check back every week where I talk about my experiences behind the camera.